bid and make the highest possible contract, and you're trying to find the golden fit in the major suit. So you want ideally be in 4 hearts, 4 spades, or 3 no trump. If your golden fits in diamonds, you try to steer the contract to 3 no trump. You open when you have at least 13 or more points, including distribution. There is a special case, your 1 no trump opening, which is 15 to 17 at a balanced hand, or 2 no trump, 20 to 21 points and a balanced hand. If you don't have one of those 2 things, you must open one of a suit. All right? What do you open? You open your 5-card major if you have one, the higher one if you have 2. If you don't have a 5-card major, you open your longest minor suit. Okay? If you have 2 4-card minors, you would open diamonds. If you have 2 3-card minors, you would open clubs. That's all up there in the top, opening bids. All right? Hopefully you have that pretty solid. Responses to one of a suit. What you should do is place your hand. You're the responder. If you have 6 points or more, you respond to your opener, the opening bid. So you place your hand in one of 4 categories. 0 to 5, which is you pass. 6 to 9, which is minimum. 10 to 11, medium. 12 or more is maximum. If you have 12 or more, you should be in a game. All right? With 6 or no, the line here, the responsive one of a suit, where it says important, I'm going to read this. If responder bids a new suit, you must bid one more time. The opener must bid one more time unless there is interference by the opponents giving the responder a chance to bid again. Does everyone understand that? If you're the opener, your partner bids a new suit without any interference, you are obligated to bid again. It's a forcing bid. If you have 13 points and you bid a diamond and your partner bids 1 spade, granted, your partner could have 6 points, but she may also have 17. All right? So you do not pass that bid. All right? Down here below are how to respond to the various suit openings. All right? I'm not going to go through all of that, but it's pretty straightforward there. An important thing to get clear in your mind is the difference between a forcing bid and an invitational bid. All right? It points out whether it's a forcing bid or an invitational bid on all of these lines here. Generally, a new suit by the responder is forcing. If the responder jump raises your suit, that's an invitational bid. And once again, it's explained here. Turning it over. Yes.
So if the opener bids a new suit,
That's
is
not,
that forcing to respond?
no, it's not. And we'll talk about that today. There's some instances where it is, but not in all instances. If the responder bids a new suit, it's forcing. There are certain cases where when the opener bids a new suit, it's forcing, but we'll be talking about that today. Okay? A couple of quick things I want to point out here. If you'll turn the sheet over. Let's just talk briefly about the limit raise. Number 1, 10 or 11 points. If you can support your partner's suit with 3 or more cards in the majors and 5 cards in the minors, you can jump raise that suit. So if your partner opens 1 spade, you have 10 to 11 points and 3 or more spades, you can bid 3 spades. Similarly, if your partner opens 1 diamond, you have 5 or more diamonds, and the point count you can raise to 3 diamonds. That is an invitational bid. You find your hand within a very small limit. That's why it's called a limit raise. You're saying, partner, I got your suit covered, plus I've got 10 or 11 points. If you've got enough points with me having 10 to go to game, go to game. Otherwise, pass. All right?
Question.
Yes.
For minors, would you not bid the penalty?
I'm sorry? Because you can open diamonds with 3 cards. Okay, now I did make a note here. On the invitation, that no limit raises normally require 4 card support, even of the major. So when you bid 3 spades after the 1 spade opening, you generally are promising 4 cards. There is a method to show exactly 3 cards. I'm not going to get into that right now. If you're curious, I'll talk to you after the class. But for now, you can make a limit raise with 3 or more cards. Later, you and your partner may decide you want to have 4. All right? Responding with 12 points, if you respond with 12 points, you know you have game. It's your obligation as a responder to make sure you get to game. I have another important one there. We can put a little flag by it. Important, as a responder, With 12 plus points, you know that your partnership has enough points for game. It is your responsibility to make sure you don't stop short. And I've given you some bids there you can make it or force it. And just one thing we didn't talk about last week that I want to share with you because it's a very interesting bid. I put it down there called the weak freak. And this comes up more frequently than you would imagine. If your partner opens a major suit and you hold 5 or more cards in that suit, you have less than 10 points. And to singleton, those 3 things, you need 5 cards in your partner's suit, at least 1 singleton or a void, and less than 10 points, you jump immediately to game. It's 1 spade, you jump to 4 spades. It seems sort of unnatural, but you'll make the extra tricks because you have all kinds of extra trumps, and you have the singleton, so you're going to be able to cross trump. So just remember that bid. I've given you a handy example down there at the bottom. And it does come up frequently. In fact, it came up when I was playing Tuesday twice, and it worked both times. I've used it probably 50 times, and it probably has failed me 1 time. It's a very good bid, right? So that's a very quick review of last week. Hopefully this is a form that is easy for you to use and refer to. So now let's go to today's prime subject, which is rebid by note. Okay, now as the opener, you're the describer of the hand. You're saying, partner, here's what I have. The responder is trying to gather as much information as she can to place the contract in the appropriate spot. Whether we should be in game, whether we should be in park space. So if your partner makes a forcing bid, what she's trying to do is to get more information from you. So you should describe your hand as best you can. Now, there are some very specific bids, but just in general, so that you don't have to memorize a whole bunch of numbers. If you're the opening bidder and you have between 13 and 15 total points, that's high card points and distribution points, you have a minimum hand. So you're going to be less aggressive with your bidding. You're not going to be jumping levels and stuff like that. You're going to keep the bidding as low as you can. If your partner makes a forcing bid, you have to bid again. But by showing some reluctance or reticence, you're going to show that you have a minimum level hand. So your partner knows you won't have more than 15 points. If you have between 16 and 18 points, you have a medium hand. There is some possibility, even if your partner responds at the 1 level, that you could get to game. Because if your partner responds with your suit at the 1 level, they have 6 to 9 points, right? You all remember that? So if they have 9 and you've got 18, or 9 and you've got 16, you have game. So you still have a possibility to get game if you have a medium hand. And you do it with a minimum hand too, if your partner has a very, very strong hand. If you've got 19 to 21 points, you've got a maximum hand. And generally you want to, unless your partner's completely broke, she's passed, you want to force it to game. There's some bids I can show you if you're the opener that will force your partner to bid again if you've got a real strong hand like this. So as we go through these exercises, I want you first to place the hand in which category it is. We're going to tally up points, and then we'll determine what we should bid based upon which category the hand falls into. Now all of these are in the book. You may have had a chance to look at them. What I want to do is go through each hand. I'll describe what the bidding has been. We'll tally up the points, and then we'll determine what the bid should be. Okay? So in this bidding sequence, the opponents pass. The opponents are not interfering at all. So your partners opened a heart. You're the opener. You opened a heart. Your partner bid 2 hearts. Okay? So first of all, how many points does your partner have? 6 to 9, precisely. 6 to 9. Not less than 6, not more than 9. It's a very limited bid. So you know your partner has 6 to 9 points. Okay? Your partner has raised your suit. How many hearts does he or she have? At least 3. Okay? So you know right now you found your trump suit, right? Is there any reason to search any farther for your trump suit? You opened a heart, so how many hearts do you have? 5. You have at least 5, right? Your partner has at least 3. That's 8. That's the magic number. That's the golden fit. So you have already determined with that first bid what the trump suit is going to be. All right? Now, what I do want to say, if you're the responder here, this is on the sheet I handed you out. If you have between 6 to 9 points, and you have 3 of your partner's major opening suit, bid 2 of that suit. Don't mess around. just bid 2, because that very clearly defines your hand. It establishes the trump suit, and it tells your partner exactly what your hand value is. Okay, so in this instance, you opened a heart, your partner bid 2 hearts, now it's your turn to bid again. So the first thing we're going to do is place the hands in one of those categories. So how many points do we have here?
15.
Is this the opener?
I wrote it all
Are you
down.
counting length?
Okay, now, very good point. As the opener, you're not going to be the dummy, at least not at this point. So you count length points, but not dummy points. You count length points and not shortness points. So as the opener, you're going to play in cards, so your partner's going to be the dummy, right? So you count high card points. How many high card points are there?
15 high card.
And how many distribution points?
2.
There's 2. These 2 right here, right? So you have 17 points. Which category does that fit in?
Medium.
Okay, so what should you bid?
3 hearts.
You bid 3 hearts. That's exactly right. And that's an invitational bid to your partner. Okay, you're telling your partner, I have 16 to 18 points. Hearts is our suit. If you have enough, with my 16 to 18, bid game. If not, pass. All right? Right, in this hand right here, how many high card points do you have? 13. How many distribution points? 2, right? 1, 2. So you have 15 points. What's your bid now?
Pass.
Pass. Who votes pass? Pass is correct. Why would you pass? You've got 15 points. What's the
You
most?
don't have enough for game.
That's right. The most your partner can have is 9. There's no reason to bid any more. You can't get to game. There's no reason to bid 3. So you bid 2 hearts. We pass.
Quick question.
Yes.
I can see some benefit of that because if someone throws interference, you still have an opportunity to go one more. You should be able to make one more.
Yeah, you possibly could.
And so that gives you the opportunity without, if you did, if there was an intervening bid and you bid 3, then it's not an invitation.
That's right. Okay? One more in this particular one. How many points do you have here? 20? And 1 distribution point? Okay, so what you do here?
For
Your maximum hand, right? Even if your partner only has 6 points, you've got enough for game, right? You just bid game. Okay.
So you're the opener here.
We're talking about openers and rebids. So every example I give you here tonight, you're the opener. Okay? All right, so this is what you do. Yes?
I had a question. You're saying the second hand is weaker than the first, right?
Yes.
The first hand has more quick tricks than the second hand.
Okay.
But
That gets into a more involved thing, and that's usually better when you're real high on the bidding scale. The best way to do it is to just evaluate your hand with the point count method. Counting your high card points and your distribution points and place them in one of the 3 categories. That will work for you 99% of the time. Okay?
Well, when you add 17 to 15, that's 32 points.
Well, no, I just added the 2 distribution points to make the total 17. So this is how many points is in this hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That is,
the first 10 is medium, so you bid your suit at the 3 level. The next one is minimum, so you pass the 2 heart bid. And the third one is maximum, so you take it to game. So you have 3 bids, you can make them. All right? So that's what you do when your partner raises your major suit. Okay? When your partner raises your minor suit, it changes just a little bit. First of all, how many points does your partner have? You bid a club, and you open the club, and your partner bid 2 clubs. How many points does your partner have? 6 to 9 points. Same thing. And how many clubs? 5 clubs. Okay? Because you could have 3. You could have opened with 3. Now, I know some partnerships agreement may say 4 or 4. That's up to you. I recommend 5. All right? All right. So let's go through the same process here with these hands. You've been a club. Your partner's raised it to 2 clubs. There's been no interference. This is your hand right here. What's your point count? 14. So what group is it in? So what do you do? Pass. Correct. All right? No chance for game in your group. You don't have enough points. Pass. Get out as low as you can. All right? The next team here. 15 high card points, and how many distribution points? There's
No, it's not.
it's unbalanced, and you've got 6 clubs. You have 17 points, right? So 17 points places it in the medium category.
Well, I meant considering whether it's two no trump or not.
No, it's not enough for two. It's not enough for 2 no trump. Plus, it's not a balanced team.
Not
And
balanced.
we'll talk about that over here. 2 no trump jump race. All right. So in this hand, because 1 club, 2 club, you've got 17 points, and you've got 6 clubs. What can you do there?
3 clubs.
Man, you got a lot of clubs, right? All right. You bid 3 diamonds, 3 clubs. You bid your suit at the 3 level. It's invitation. Okay? You don't know for sure you have game, but you have the possibility of game. Remember, you need 29 points to have a minor suit game. So you need more points. Keep that in mind when you're bidding minor suits toward game. Sometimes you have no choice because you're missing stoppers or something in no trump, and you have to go to the minor suit. But let's look at this one. How many points do you have here? 19 plus
Now,
1.
how many points?
You're going to be the declarer. So you've been the club, so you're the declarer. So there's no dummy points here. Okay? So you're the declarer here as well. You got 20 total points, counting the 1 distribution point, right? Okay, so what's your bid here? 3 no trump. Who wants to bid 3 no trump? Who wants to bid 5 diamonds? I believe 3 no trump is by far the superior bid. Now, there's one other thing you should look at here before you just jump into 3 no trump. You're bidding clubs. You've got to have stoppers in these other suits. Because if you're sitting here with the 5 and the 4 of diamonds, and they've got a boatload of diamonds, they may win 5 or 6 diamond tricks before you ever get in and cash all your clubs and your other cards. So if you have a maximum hand and you know you have stoppers in the other suits, just bid 3 no trump. Okay, does everyone see that? When you have a golden fit and a minor suit, steer it to no trump. Generally, 70% of the time it's the better combination. Probably even more than that. All right, so does everybody follow when your partner raises your major, middle, minor suit? Any questions on those? Okay, next one is you open 1 spade and your partner bids 1 no trump. Okay, how many points does your partner have? 6 to 9. 6 to 9. How many spades does your partner have?
Less than 3.
Less than 3. Could your partner have none?
Yes.
That's correct. Because when you bid 1 no trump over an opening 1 bid, that's the only time a no trump bid, outside of some weird conventions, does not require a balanced hand. So this really says, partner, I don't have anything else to bid, nothing else to bid, so I'm just telling you I have 6 to 9 points. Could be balanced, maybe not. All right, so let's just look at a few of these and see why the partner doesn't have anything else to bid. All right? Well, the partner wouldn't have anything else to bid because he can't raise your suit and he doesn't have another 4-card suit to bid. And he doesn't have 10 points, so he can't go to the 2 level. So now you're the opener. You bid a spade. Your partner's bidding 1 no trump, and this is your hand right here. How many points do you have here? 13 plus 1, right? So you've got 14 points. What category is it in? So what do? Pass. With balanced hands, you pass. If it's not balanced, you try to find another bid.
And you
Okay?
let her play the
She
dungeon.
plays 1 no trump, right? Okay. Now, when the partner bids 1 no trump, you need to look at your hand also and say, is my hand balanced or not balanced? That will play into what you will bid. If you have the minimum hand opposite your partner's 1 no trump response, you have balanced hand, you just pass. Okay? All right, how about this hand right here? How many points do you have there? Well, you got 11 high card points, 2 of these, right? So you've got 13 points. Everybody agree with that? Okay, that's minimum. What do you do now with that minimum? It's not balanced. Who wants to get 2 spades? That's what I did. I did 2 spades. The reason you get 2 spades, you do have to have 6. Anytime, and that's on the sheet I handed out, marked important. Anytime you rename an unsupported suit, you promise an additional card. All right? So, since your partner did not bid spades, for you to bid spades again, if you're telling the truth, you have to have 6. That second spade bid says, partner, I've got 6, at least 6 spades.
And if he sat there with 2, you've got a
And then you're fine. Yeah. This hand will probably play better in spades. It's possible your partner has none in your...
If he had 1 and 6 points, you just leave it at 7 spades between you.
Well, if you bid 2 spades, he's going to pass. You've told him you have a minimal hand. He's got no more than 10 points. If you have an interest after he's limited his hand to 6 to 9 points, there's other ways to show it. So that's really a sign-up bid. Partner, let's play 2 spades. That's what that says. Okay? So if your partner opens a spade and you bid a no trump and your partner comes back with 2 spades, that's the weakest bid he can make. You pass if there's one no trump person. Okay? Don't even think about it. Just pass. All right? All right, how about this hand right here? 15 plus 2. That's right. So you've got 17 points. Okay, so is that a medium? That's a medium here, right? Okay, so you still have some interest. You've got 17 points. Your partner didn't have as many as 9, right? Or 8 or 9 points. If your partner's got the high end of this bid, you probably have gain. So what kind of bid are you going to make? What? 3 spades. You're going to make an invitational bid. An invitational bid. A bid that your partner may pass, but if he accepts or she accepts your invitation, we'll take it higher depending on the strength of his hand. So what is your invitational bid here? Not a jump raise. You jump raise your own suit. Right. So you bid 3 spades here. Okay, 3 spades promises 2 things. 6 spades, because you rebid an unsupported suit, you're promising another card, plus you've got between 16 and 18 points. That's what that means, very precisely. Now, if you're the person sitting over here that bid 1 no trump, and you've got 8 points, what are you going to bid? You'll bid 4 spades. If you've got 6 or 7 points, what are you going to bid?
Would that require, the bidding game would require 2 trump in your hand?
More than likely, you know that your partner has 6. Yes, call it a subjective decision, but yes, it's best that way you have your 8 card fit. All right? So if you've got 7 points and 2 spades, what would you bid over this? Anything? Pass, because the most your partner can have, well, if he's got full 18, you could possibly have 7. So depending on the strength of your hand, you could possibly get to that. If you have 6, you definitely would pass, because there's no way you can get to 25.
Yeah.
So you see how you add your points. Once you know more about your partner's hand, you start adding the points and saying, okay, do we have game? Do we not have game?
Okay.
For instance, after your partner bids this, the single raise, you know he has at least 6 and not more than 9. So now that narrows down the possible contracts you can be in.
Okay, so let's say you have 8 and you have 1 spade, but the rest of your hand is balanced. Would you do 2 no trump?
No, because your partner has an unbalanced hand by bidding the spades.
I know, but you do, but you have the other 6.
Yeah, you could. I'd have to look at the hand, but it's a little, it's a little risky, but it's possible. You just have to know your own hand.
That means you only have 7. If you avoid, you only have 6. So probably just pass.
Yeah, you can do that. Once again, you have to look at each hand on its own merit. Okay, so where were we? Here? All right, let's go to this one. See which one I have. Okay, this hand right here.
What do you call it?
Okay, your partner bid one no trump. What do you bid now? It's one spade, one no trump. You're holding this hand. Okay, how many points here? 20. So what's the minimum count your partner can have? 6. 20 and 6 is the worst you can have. That's 26 points, right? 3 no trump. And now we're not talking about slams. You need 33 points generally for slams, but you can eliminate the upper limit too. If you have 33 points, you can consider slams. I don't want to go off of this today. I just want to show you. You've got 20 points. You know the most your partner can have is 10. 20 and 10 is 30. That's not enough for any more than 3. So you might as well stop at 3. So 3 no trump is the proper bid here. Okay?
Did you say you'd open that hand to one spade?
No. Yeah. This is one spade.
Yeah, he's got 5.
5 spades. Okay, so this, you open one spade, your partner takes one no trump, and you're holding this hand right here. How many points do you have here? How many? 19 total. 17 high card points and 2. Okay, what category is that in? So what do you have? You have game, right? So how do you convey this very powerful hand to your partner? This is something we haven't discussed before. What you do, it's called a jump shift, okay? You jump a level higher than you have to bid your second suit. So where's my hand here? Okay, you bid one spade, your partner bid one no trump. You bid 3 clubs. 3 clubs. You got enough points for game. You want your partner to know that. You open the spade. He knows you have 5 spades. You don't bid 2 clubs because that would show a weak hand, a weaker hand. Instead, you bid 3 clubs. A jump shift by the opener specifically means I have 19 to 21 points, and it's a force to gain. All right? So your partner, based upon what he has, will bid spades, clubs, or no trump. Okay?
So when he does that, like, in that case, you have to have at least 5 clubs to do 3
No, you could do it with 4, and I've even seen people do it with 3. What's important is to make sure your partner knows how many points you have done.
So in other words, let's say I'm respond or he came back at 3 clubs. He's not necessarily telling me he wants to be in clubs.
In fact, he wants to be in spades. That's what he would first. You can probably say he has at least 4 clubs.
He's already tied 3, so the most you can have in that is 7.
It's 8.
I'm sorry?
It's 7.
He's already denied that he has 3.
Right.
So the most you can have is 7 between the 2.
Right, that's correct. So based upon this bid, your partner is it's probably going to take it into 3 no trump, would be my guess, even though you're highly imbalanced here. But you want to be in game, and this is the way you show it. When you have a very, very strong hand as an opener, 19 to 21 points, the way you force your partner to bid again is to jump shift the suit. That's one way, that's not the only way. It's a very direct bid. It always shows 19 to 21 points.
So this is like one of the few cases where you're basically forcing the play from the weak hand.
It could be, yes.
I mean, if you don't go to the no trump.
It's possible it could be, absolutely. But what's important is to be in game, not so much who's playing the hand, although that is important. All right? So just realize when you have a very strong hand like that and you do make a jump shift, it is forcing the game. Your partner cannot stop before game, and you can't either. So it gives you some room to make just some bids. You know, here, like saying, okay, I've got bid hearts, saying I've got the hearts covered or something like that. You can get creative here because you know you're going to game. You're going to end up in game. Either partner can pass or you get to game. Okay? Jump shift. Okay, one more. To me, this is the most key. Yes?
Does jump shift always in clubs?
No, it could be at anything.
It could be at any
Like
time.
if you had all these diamonds here, you would jump to diamonds.
Yeah.
It's in no particular suit. You just jump a level higher than the other.
Okay.
You don't have to go to your second strongest suit.
You should. It's the logical thing to do.
Now,
Okay.
if your responder, you would have gone to the second suit. It should have been, that's my
Absolutely, that's what I was saying, did you hear what I said?
No.
After this bid, one spade, three clubs. One spade, one no trump, three clubs. You both know you're going to game. So let's say the opener or the responder now bids